Thanks for joining us. I'm Marlin Bohling with you as we continue on our market day report, getting ready for those reports like Christina mentioned here before the break. And she put it very well when she said the trade is positioning ahead of the report. That's basically what's going on here in the grain trade today. I want to go to the Mid-Atlantic coast region and check in on someone who's dealing with a little bit of a unique situation here in the weather. Let's check in with Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. And Ben, thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday. Interesting weather developments there. Last time I spoke with you, you guys were trying to wrap up harvest. Things look a little different today, I understand.
Good morning, Marlin. Yes, they do. Just like last Tuesday, meteorologist Tim Ross said that we had some colder weather coming, and that's exactly what happened. We were warm right through Saturday about noontime, and then just right on schedule, the snow rolled in Saturday night into Sunday morning, and we had about 3-4 inches on the ground and on the church parking lots that had to be cleaned up Sunday morning.
Now, you don't talk about a dusting when you start getting your first snow, do you?
No, I tell you what, but it's time, and just like we heard Christina just say, we've got some cold weather finally coming. Marlin, it's been interesting. This, based on the forecast she just presented for the Northeast and what the local forecast is, this week, starting tonight, will be the first night we have had below freezing temperatures 3 days in a row. In fact, I would almost say it'll be the first time 2 days in a row, but I'll play it safe and say 3. So we have been mild, which has worked really well. Harvest began mid to late September, and there's still some corn scattered around, and there's some soybeans scattered around. So the dry harvest has been good for the farmers, but it's time. It's time for some moisture and cold weather to help that wheat crop out and small grain crop.
I saw in your photos that you had sent in today, you had some standing corn out there. Is that the exception rather than the rule?
It is. It's the exception, but I just couldn't pass up Saturday evening when driving by that field, seeing we don't see that very often in our part of the world, snow on standing corn. So
right.
Had to grab the picture. I won't dare tell you who it is, though. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Yeah, I know the situation. All right. So, yeah, you have some beautiful photos. Thanks for sharing those. I appreciate that very much. Well, now that we're getting toward the tail end of harvest here, folks need to be looking ahead to 2018 already. So what are they doing to prepare for that?
Well, I believe that when we get snow or a cold snap, it's kind of like the reminder, because this isn't, it's going to warm back up some. Christina just said that. We're going to bounce back up a little bit the following week. But it's time to get those last of those soil samples taken. But the freezing overnight kind of reminds us it's time to get lime ordered. They like to spread lime on frozen grounds on those cold mornings, and we're running pretty hard right now with potash. Folks that have gotten their soil samples back, we're running some variable rate potash yesterday, and there's some folks coming in getting fertilizer to spread. But again, in Maryland, it's pretty much you're limited to lime and potash this time of year, but there's still plenty of time to get it done.
Good points, all of them. Thank you, Ben, for talking with us for a little bit here this morning. I appreciate that very much. Ben Hushon is with the Mill, and he is based in Whitehall, Maryland, where we have a little snow cover going on this week. We'll pause for a break, and we'll see what's going on in our futures trade when we come back right after this. Downward in that orange juice futures price this morning. And I noticed where the milk price on January down 4 cents this morning. And we're priced at $14.30 per hundredweight. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in our futures trade. We'll start with the grains. And keep in mind, we did have 3 different batches of overnight export sales. So keep that in mind. Did it have an impact or not? Let's go take a look. Now, on the corn market, first of all, here today. Corn futures, we currently have the March contract now trading just 1 tick lower, 1/4 cent lower, and 348.5. So not a big move at all. We currently have the May contract down 1/4, and July down 1/2 cent at 365.25. And of course, now that is after learning that we had sold 152,000 tons of corn to Mexico overnight. Didn't help at all. That's been the trend here the last week or two. Big reports coming up, though, in a couple hours. Now, let's take a look at soybeans. Where do we stand there? Currently, January down 4 at 978.5, and we have the March down 4 at 990. Both of those are just 2 ticks away from their low of the day. So definitely a weaker tone heading into the report. July down 4 at 1010.5. How about the wheat trade today? And by the way, we did have a sale of soybeans too to unknown destinations last night. On the wheat, now here we have March Chicago wheat down 2 at 411.5. That's only 1 tick from its low of the day. July down 1 3/4 at 439 3/4. And if we look at Kansas City wheat here, well, on the Kansas City market, we had announced a sale of hard red winter wheat to Algeria, 120,000 tons overnight. And yet it's trading lower again too. March only down 3/4 now at 412, and we have July down 3/4 at 441 3/4 per bushel. Let's move on to our Minneapolis wheat, the spring wheat trade, where we have March down 1 1/4 at 607.5. And in the cotton market this morning, we have the March contract, the lead contract, now gaining a little bit. We're up 77 points at 73.77 cents per pound. A little bit of a rally taking place here on the nearby contracts. Let's move on to our futures on the livestock side here, see how things are going this morning. Here we go with a look at live cattle, and we are currently higher across the board. We have the nearby contracts, both 60 higher, December and February. That puts February now at 118.32 per hundredweight. And you have April 40 higher at 120.02 per hundredweight. That's only about 25 cents from our high of the day. And if we look at our feeder cattle trade today, currently you have March down 3. The other months have gone just a little bit higher. January is now at 145.42, down about 1 tick, but March is 20 higher now at 143.52, and April up a dime at 143.55. On the lean hog trade, as we get toward the mid-session here, we have the December up 2. February, though, is down 37 cents. We're now quoted at 66.65 per hundredweight. Well, that's only 1 tick from our low of the day. We have April down 38 now at 71.45. Same story there, just 1 tick off of our earlier low. The entire trading range, though, is only about 40 cents wide, so kind of quiet in the hog trade after a very weak close yesterday. Janet, they were down over $1 yesterday.
All right, see what Tuesday has in store. Thank you very much, Marlin.